Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of Sport Thoughts Podcast. I'm delighted to announce that on this episode, we've got the world's youngest senior coach, Jordan Hadaway. Jordan, can you introduce yourself, please, mate?
Yeah, so I'm Jordan Hadaway. I'm 18 years old and I'm Caerwys first team manager.
Excellent, mate. So it's been difficult recently to not come across your name. What's it like been doing so many interviews and podcasts and stuff like that, mate?
So how it all started was I sat down with the university because I study at Liverpool Hope, and I just sat down with their journalist, and he said, we need to increase the numbers on this year to get through the door. So we've been asked to interview you and put it through our university website to get more people through the door. So I did it, and then next thing you know, Lab Bible. I didn't even know it was going on Lab Bible till I was sat on the sofa watching something, and my phone went crazy, and it was the Lab Bible had published a story about me, and then from there we had so many different companies asking to do things, but it got to a point where I only did certain ones, so I turned a lot away because I don't want to. I'm quite, for those that don't know me, I quite like to keep myself in the background and not be in the centre all the time. But the last month or two, it's been in the centre all the time, and I'm not really liking it. But what can you do?
Feels good to be famous, though.
Yeah, kind of.
No, fair play. It's a great story, and I think more people should know about it. But I think by now probably everybody knows about it. To be fair,
probably.
So what I'd like to start off with is just how you got into management. I know we're going to be going back a few years, but if you could just talk us through how this whole journey started.
Yeah, so it mainly started when I realised I wasn't really that good at playing. I was slow. I was a fullback that, okay, I played every week in junior football, but I was never going to get any better than reserve team football. And I didn't see the point in doing that. I wanted to stay in the game. I didn't want to referee. So I was on a soccer camp at my local club, Holywell, and the director there, Steve Thomas, was running the soccer camp. And he said, I was 14, and he said to me, "Come on, coaching now, because you're too old to play and participate." So I basically was just another body, and then from there it just spiraled. Steve's been quite influential in everything I've done. He then got me into the local council doing like volunteering alongside him. So I had my foot in the door then when I was 15. I was a young ambassador for Flintshire. And then when I was 16, I took over a team at Holywell. I took over the under-6s and went on to the committee at Holywell Juniors, which then led on to doing the under-6s and the 8s. And then when I was 17, I set up my own youth structure because the juniors and the seniors were separate. And I think it's important in any situation, you've got to have this under-6 all the way through to first team set up. So we set the youth structure up with the seniors. So I started off with 54 kids. We now got roughly 136 to 154 children participating under 6 to under 19. So that was key role. I did that for a season as director of youth there when I was 17. I then went on the coaching staff with Gareth Sudlow as manager of, when he was manager of Holywell for a short stint. I was just a coach. Basically, I was just there for the experience and getting to know people and networking. And then when Johnny Haston come in, I dropped down to the reserves as a coach, where we won the league last season. I was then at the end of the season, Caerwys come up. So I chose to leave the reserves and go into Caerwys as a joint manager at the start of this season. And I left director of youth at Holywell. So it's been quite a roller coaster.
Yeah, non-stop over the past 3-4 years then.
It's hard work. That's what's got me to here. And people giving me the chance.
Awesome. And how have you felt the transition from youth to senior football then?
I thought it was going to be a lot harder than what it is. But to be fair, the group of players that we've got at Caerwys have made it a lot easier. So it's hats off to them, really, because they probably never had an 18-year-old lad being their manager before. So it's different for them. It's different for me. So we've just got on with it, and we're being successful at the minute.
Yeah, fair play. I've got to say that about your lads, because when you think to any other scenario, when you've got an 18-year-old telling you what to do,
Yeah.
it's quite a bizarre situation. Did you find that any lads felt that way, or?
To be fair, we've got roughly now. I've got probably about a 22-man squad, and I'd say out that 22-man squad, it was probably one of them that found it a bit bizarre. And probably everybody else was on board with me and wanted to go for it, and was happy for me to do it. And but that one person's now left, so that says it all. But the majority, 99% of the lads, as long as they're enjoying their football and we're winning games, which we are, then I think they're happy and they believe in what we're doing.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, is there any like main differences to youth and senior football?
Yeah, you've got. To be fair, you've got no gobby parents. That's one of them. But not really, other than kids sometimes don't know so what the skills and the techniques are. So you can kind of, if you don't know it and you're a bit nervous, you can kind of stumble through it. But with seniors, you've got to be on the ball all the time. From if you're training 7:30 till 8:30, you've got to be on the ball from 1:15 to 1:45. So it's a lot more time, it's a lot more planning, and it's a lot more tactical drills more than technical and skill-based drills. What you do with the kids.
Yeah, definitely. As a manager yourself, I'd definitely like to go into tactics. Is there a certain style or way of play that you try and implement with your lads?
Yeah. So the way we set up is we set up as a. Hopefully, no one listens to this that we play. We set up as a 4-3-3 with one sitter, and obviously when we've got the ball and we're going forward, we're a 4-3-3. But when we lose possession and everything breaks down, we're back into a 4. We're into a 4-5-1. So the wingers come back to make a bank of 5 across the middle. So that means we've got a lot of men going forward, and we're hard to break down when we lose the ball. Really, all it is, I like to play out from the back, but if we can't do it on certain occasions, we don't do it. We don't overplay if we don't have to. But I try and, the way I want my team to play, sometimes we don't do it, sometimes we do, depending on who we're playing, is play out from the back, keep the ball, wear the opposition down, second half, go at them. We mainly attack the flanks, get the wingers on the ball, get your fullbacks around the winger, and get the forward within the width of the goalpost, and don't go out of there. So he's always in the poaching area to make a tap in. But other than that, not really. My deep lying midfielder is a playmaker, so he gets on the ball and makes things happen. So he's quite key to what happens from goalkeeper to forward. So we try, like I said, we try and get the ball out wide. If it's not on, we give it to him, and then try and keep the ball and wear the opposition down.
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Would you say there's a team or a manager that maybe inspires you?
Eddie Howe, probably, because he's young. He's been there. He's done it. He's done a hell of a job at Bournemouth. His football is quite similar to mine. He keeps the ball. He's very attacking, very expansive. So, and that's what I want my team to do, because my front three are the best front three in the league. So, my initial idea is get the ball forward, get into the box, go forward in numbers, and we'll win the game. And Eddie Howe's team does that as well, but unfortunately at the minute they're not winning. But that's just how it is.
Yeah, well, I've actually did a bit of research, and you've mentioned there the front three, but you've actually got one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah, but that's another thing. Alex Ferguson said, I think a couple of years ago, which will always stick in my mind. I know it's a common sense, but best defenses win leagues. If you don't concede goals, you'll win leagues, no matter how good your front three are or your forward players. So in terms of that's always stuck with me. That's probably one thing that's always stuck with me throughout. And my back four now is a solid. Every single play is a solid 7 out of 10 every week. They're steady footballers. They're good on the ball. They can defend the box. And to be fair, if it's not on, they take no crap and they get rid of it, which sometimes you need. I know it's good playing pretty football, but you don't put yourself under the cosh to play pretty football. If you can't do it, then it has to go. So my back four is settled every week. It's the same back four every week, and it has been since I've been there.
Awesome. I think the quote that you just mentioned there, Liverpool have definitely taken that on board by spending 75 million on Virgil van Dijk, and that seems to be doing all right for them at the moment.
Yeah, he's probably one of the best signings they've made in the last decade, because him and Alisson have made a huge difference. No matter what anyone says, it's all right. Like what I've just said. Then it's all right having a good front three and good attacking players, but if you can't defend, it's useless in having them. So,
yeah, definitely. Also, looking at the league table, I think you're fourth in the league, if I'm right, with 3 games in hand.
fourth in the league with 4 games in hand.
Or 4 games in hand. So the potential there to go top or second.
Yeah, well, until the last game, which was on, I think it was the first Saturday of this month, we could have won the league if we won every game, no matter what everyone else did.
Wow.
And in the situation we were in at November, we were second from bottom in November, so that's a hell of a turnaround. So when I look at it that way, yeah, we can still get promoted top 2, but let's aim for the league and let's aim for as much as we can, and whatever will happen will happen.
That's brilliant. Yeah, definitely. And before you mentioned to me that even in the cups you're doing quite well.
Yeah, so the Horace Wynn Cup, which is the NUFA Cup, we're into the semi-finals there against Boris Park Albion. The President's Cup, we're in the last round 4. The league, the Mike Beach Cup, we're in the quarter-final, and the Queen's Ferry, we're in the quarter-final too. So we could end up with 4 trophies if all goes well, and maybe a promotion or maybe a league title. So,
wow, good luck. I hope you come home with all the silverware. To be fair to you, mate.
Yeah, I'll need a bigger trophy cabinet than Everton.
I'm not going to start ripping you. I'm a big Liverpool fan. I do think that Ancelotti is the right manager, and he's going to do good things for you. But Liverpool is red. sorry, mate. It had to be said. It has to be said. So I want to talk about the Real Madrid clinic, because I think that's been quite a hot topic recently, hasn't it?
Yeah. So
if you could just tell me a bit more about the story, how you got involved, what your role is there.
So basically, all across the UK, any club that wants to get involved with the Real Madrid's clinics can contact Real Madrid and get involved in them. And my role is basically go to the venue with other coaches from around the world, go to the venue, and we coach the Real Madrid nutritional, technology, and the actual coaching way of Real Madrid. The kids have a very intense week, Monday to Friday, 9 till 4. They're getting food that they've probably never ate before, so it's healthy food. They're getting technology to get statistics in to see where they're at physically, and they're getting coaching sessions which maybe they wouldn't have at the grassroots clubs or their academies, because they're getting the Real Madrid way through. I started that when I got into that because I volunteered in a camp in Chester when I was 16 or 17, I can't remember. But they said it was 16. So they said when you're 17, we'll get you in and we'll try and get you on the coaching staff. And that's what happened. I got a call last summer, and I actually did a soccer camp in the Real Madrid clinic in Llangefni, and that was my first one. So yeah.
Excellent. And is there is there like any kind of like ladder that you can work your way up with them, or like
I think
goal?
it's just. I think it's just they go by personal recommendation. So I've recommended someone now, and they've got a job with them. So I think if your name's out there, which my name wasn't out there at the time, but I volunteered on that camp, and the coaches on the camp then relayed back to their boss, which is now my boss, who then asked me to do it. So I think it's about just personal recommendation, but you do get observed, so you've got to kind of pass that as well. So yeah, I think there's no pathway really, but once you're in, it's very intense.
Yeah. And if everything goes to plan and certain things are fixed before the summer, will you be taking part again, or?
Yeah, well, I was supposed to be going to Germany, in Hoffenheim to do one. The second week in April, but that's been cancelled now because of the coronavirus. And then obviously I would be doing about 11, 12 weeks in the summer, depending on what happens in the near future with the virus.
Would that have been your first time coaching abroad, or?
I went to Spain and did a coaching lecture in January with them, where we met like Roberto Carlos, Xavier Malo, Arbeloa, Solari, the Real Madrid academy staff. So we did that, but I coached in primary schools with my sixth form about 2 years ago. So it would have been the first time with Real Madrid, yeah. But I've coached in like an English grammar school over in Spain and things like that. So it would have been the first time with them, but I've done different things abroad already.
Wow, your CV for an 18-year-old lad must be stacked.
Yeah, it is, but well, I've got to use it now because there's no work in school. So let's see if it works.
Jesus, wow. Going back to your club and the league, like, could you talk to me a bit more about the league? Like, how is football most commonly played? Like, is it like a good footballing league, or is it hitting hope, hoofing it up, or like talk a bit more about that?
To be fair, we're the only team in the league and probably the league above that actually try and play football. I know Coyd play football there in the league above, but in terms of our league, it's very a 6'6" lad, 6'5" lad up front. Defenders aren't very good. They hoof the ball forward and they play off him. And in the middle, there's two immobile players, not immobile, but not very quick on their feet. Good with the ball, mobile players. But then players in the middle fight for absolutely everything minute 1 to 90. So it's a hard graft to play in the league, especially when you're trying to play football and you're coming up against teams that are very, 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 very physical, and all they want to do is bully you out the game. So, which we found before Christmas tough to face. But now I brought in a couple of players that maybe like the physicality side of it and are all good at playing football still. So we've got a balance. But before Christmas, maybe we didn't have that 100% throughout the team.
Yeah, no, that's So would you say, like, what height is your striker? Like, are your wingers like pacey, or?
My forward is, I think I'd say he's probably about 5'9", 5'10".
Oh wow.
He's very experienced. He's 34. He's played in the Cymru Alliance for Llandudno when they were in it. Scored 20 plus goals. He's been around. He's played in the Welsh Police squad. So he's very experienced compared to what I am. He's done a hell of a lot in Welsh football. So he's more one of them that'll come in, show feet, and clip the channel. So my wingers are very touchline wide, good on the ball, good getting in behind, and good delivery. So when he's played that pass, he's straight into the box. Wingers deliver the ball and he's in, hopefully. The wingers are very young, very fit, which they have to be fit to do that 4-3-3 and then 4-5-1 in out of possession. And they're very, very good on the ball as well.
Brilliant. So we go back now 2 years. Had I said to you, Jordan, 2 years' time, you're going to be the youngest senior coach in world football, what would you said?
You're joking, aren't you? No, I probably would never have thought that. It was a big jump. My mum is quite. She's quite influential in terms of what's gone on already so far. And I said to her, I'm going into senior football. I'm going in as joint manager, which now I'm senior manager by myself now. I said, I'm going into joint manager at Caerwys, start the next season. She said, what? No, you're not. She said, you're not doing that at 18. I said, I am. And normally I'd listen to her advice, but this time I went for it. And it's only reap rewards, really, because I was joint manager and now I'm by myself. I've done 8 games as sole manager. We've won 7 and drew 1. So we're doing really well at the minute.
Oh, fair play. Had you imagined that it would have gone that well?
Well, no, especially the first game we were away to Boris Park and I was standing on the touchline. We were 2-0 down at half time. I thought, what the fuck am I doing here? And I made 3 substitutions, 3 on, 3 off, changed the formation back to what we were used to, which now we don't play. And we won the game 4-3. We were losing 3-2 in the 88th minute. So that was quite a big turning point in what had happened, what then relayed on in the next 7 weeks, 7 games from then.
Wow. So was it difficult to walk into a team that were playing a certain style and you wanted to totally change that up? Like how long did that process take?
Well, I was already involved anyway. I was joint manager, so we played a certain way, but I wanted to put my own footprint on it. So when I first went in there, I thought, let's make it difficult for the defence of the opposition. Let's play 2 up top. Let's go long ball into the channels, just because that's all I had I didn't have the players to do what I wanted to do, so I just had to make do with what I had. And this is what I wanted to do. So we went 4-4-2. It didn't work, so we changed it back to 4-2-3-1. The following week, I had to play 4-2-3-1 again because that's what they were used to. But in between these 2 games, we were doing shape. I was identifying what kind of players I need to get in, which now I've got in, to play the way that I want to play and play the formation and style that I want to play. So it took probably about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but a lot of work behind the scenes that the lads didn't see, where I was looking for players that I know of, if they could play that way. And we probably made about 6 signings, and they're doing it really well every week now. So,
oh, brilliant! Oh, that's brilliant, mate. So you were saying before that you no longer play football.
Well, I've made 3 appearances so far, and I made 4 in this pre-season. So I still I don't put myself on. I still, if we're struggling, I'm still there if we're needed.
Okay. So because I was going to say to like potential players that would say, well, if you don't play football, then how do you know about football? Like how have you learned about the game and like tactics? Do you like analyze other matches, or like how's that process come about of you learning so much about the game to be able to go out and manage a senior team?
Well, to be fair, when I was playing, I always read the game well. I was slow. I wasn't very good on the ball, and since I finished, I'm actually better on the ball than what I was when I was playing week in, week out. But I read the game very well, so that only helped. And my manager at youth always said that he reads the game really well, one of the best in the team. So that was always something on my side. I really go and watch a lot of Friday night games in Welsh football. Anything that's on, I go and watch it because I like to compare, even if it's Cymru Alliance, Welsh Premier League, I like to compare what my team are to them, and watch what the managers. It's more achievable to watch something like that than watch Man United, Man City on the telly. So I know I don't really analyse anything. I just go and watch games, pick up little tips. But I have my own philosophy, and that's the way that I want my team to play, and that's what they're doing.
Brilliant. And obviously you're a young lad yourself, but what are your thoughts about implementing youth into your side?
Well, if you look at my side now, I've probably I've only got 4 players over the age of 25, so it's a
Wow.
really young team. So hopefully at Caerwys we'll keep them together. We'll go up the leagues. That's the plan. But them 4 players over the age of 25 don't play like they're over the age of 25. If you know what I mean. That's because they've got young lads around them. They're just playing like they're young as well. So a lot of them, like the forwards 34, centre halves, one of the centre halves 31, one of the fullbacks is 29. So it's not massively older, but when these young lads are coming up against certain players against us that are 36, played the game for a long time, it tends for them to take longer to get into the game because they're playing against someone that's more experienced. So until they get their feet down and play, the ball down and play, then it takes them a little bit longer to get into the game. But the team that we've got at Caerwys, we're hoping to have a reserves next year if we can get a manager in. So we'll have even younger lads coming through, which means that hopefully they will come in through into my side, and we can have an even younger side.
Yeah, definitely. You were talking there about next season. Is there like a 5-year plan, or like is there anything like that you've implemented into your team, or?
Well, from the club's perspective, I don't think there's a plan. I think it's just let's see how high we can go with what we've got, and then let's see if we need to improve anything like the grounds and things like that. But for me, when I agreed to go into Caerwys, I had a 3-year plan. First year, compete for the league. Second year, first year, compete for the league, win something, or even get promoted, or go up. Second year, win the league above again, and then see what happens in the third year. Whether it's if we can't go up, we compete again in the league that we were in, or if we can go up, we consolidate in that league, which will be very tough, and see what happens. But within that, win some trophies like cup competitions and things like that.
Brilliant. You mentioned there about analysing your the Welsh Premier League matches. What are your thoughts on the Welsh Premier League, and how does it compare to maybe your leagues?
I think there's a lot of different teams that like to play different ways. Like Nomads are so successful by playing long ball, and if that works for you, that works for you. And to be fair, a lot of people say it's not attractive, but if you watch it closely from a coach's point of view, okay, it's not attractive, but what they do off the ball is very, very good, and the hard-working players. So hats off to Andy Morrison for sorting that out. Then you look at, say, TNS, who like to play the ball around. Then you look at teams like Airbus, who mix it up game to game. They are struggling, but in every game that I've watched them, they've competed, and they should maybe have got a couple more points than what they've got now. So I think that's what I like to watch about the Welsh Prem. There's not many teams in it, but the teams that are in it, there's so many different ways that they play, and it's good to watch, to be fair. Whereas if you go down to the Cymru Alliance, it's very similar in how teams play.
Do you ever hear of many teams from around this way, like Anglesey and Gwynedd?
Yeah, like I said to you before we played Nevin. Caerwys played Nevin in the Welsh Trophy, so I've heard of them. I'm quite close with a lot of people at Llangefni Town.
Yeah, they're good people.
Yeah, Carnarvon, Bangor, the new Bangor. What? And Triada Bay. I know that's not far from you, is it?
No, that's quite close, yeah.
So all them kinds of teams, I've heard of them. Some of them I know better than others, but most of them I've heard of them. Yeah.
Well, I was actually speaking to Caerwys Town about yourself and doing the clinics because the plan was to go down and film the clinics and like produce like a promo video for it, and then I was hoping to there interview yourself.
Yeah.
So that's how it came about me getting in touch with you. I'd come across Dave Jones' story, and I thought, wow, Dave, you've hit a big one here, mate. This is a class story.
I speak to Dave quite a lot, and to be fair to him, he gives us a lot of coverage, Caerwys, which, like every Welsh club in Wales, it's hard to get sponsorship through the door. So things like this is only going to help Caerwys in the future.
Yeah. Dave is a good fella. To be fair to him, if I ever put up anything a bit different, like I put up last night about a badge breakdown, so we go into depth about why a certain team has certain things on their crest.
Yeah.
And he commented saying, "Love the idea, brilliant." So he's always supporting me.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
Even though you could like potentially say that we're maybe rivals, but like we're totally not, if you know what I mean. Like what we do is like two separate kinds of coverage, but we've like if he does something good, I'll drop him a message saying class work, mate. Or if I need, because he's obviously been in the game for a hell of a lot longer than me. And he just seems to know everything. So I'll drop him a message and be like, "Hi mate, do you know when this blah 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 blah?" And he's like, "Yeah, nice one, there you go." So
yeah, he's a great guy. And I also know, do you know the 94th minute?
Yeah.
He's from my local town. He's from Holywell, so I know him, and I speak to Dave quite a lot, even not about football. So yeah.
He's a good fella. He's a good fella. So Dave, there you go. There's a little plug for you. Yeah, back to yourself. This isn't about Dave Jones. Look off there. Don't worry. Nothing to worry about. Get back to it. Okay. The Dave Jones thing threw me off a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. So if there's a young person now that's thinking, I like football, but the plan is to go into management rather than playing, what are your tips?
Well, like I say to anyone, whoever needs a hand and wants advice from me, if they need it, just drop me a text and I'll always help if I can. But advice to anybody really, a young person going into coaching, was get yourself involved, get stuck in, work hard, start a youth, build yourself up. I went from under 6 to under 8, which is a big jump. I never made the jump from under 8 up and then into seniors. I went straight from minis football straight into senior football. But if I could go back, maybe I would go under 6, then maybe a junior side like an under 16s, under 14s. But we didn't have that at Holywell, and then go into senior football. But just work hard, plan everything, and just be confident. Even if you're not confident, just put a face on. It's only for an hour training session, and then each week you'll get better.
Brilliant. And do you, in terms of coaching badges?
Yeah.
How far along are you, or have you started it, or?
So currently, I've done my leaders, done my C license, transition workshop as well to the senior, and I enrolled on the UEFA B about a year ago, which I'm still doing now.
Wow.
I haven't got enough time.
No, fair play though, mate. That's doing excellent. Is the plan to go A license, pro license, or?
I think I'll get my degree sorted first, because that's a priority over everything first, and then see what happens, and hopefully get get this boxed off and then go up.
And if you don't mind me asking, what's your degree in?
It's in sport, physical education and sport, and special educational needs. So the plan's to be a teacher by the end of it.
Wow, good, great plan, mate. Great plan. Jesus, for an 18-year-old, you speak like you've got years of experience.
Oh, I wish I was 10 years on.
No, you don't want to be, mate. I'm getting on the wrong side of the 25, and it's not good. It's really not good. Yeah, just live it whilst you can, mate. It soon flies by. So you're very early into your career.
Yeah.
What would you say up to now has been your best moment?
This is going to sound a lot of people will say, "What, your best moment?" But I'd probably say we had Kevin Druids. We knocked out Bala in the cup as Caerwys in the North East Wales Cup this year. It was mainly reserves. We won 5-3 in extra time, but that was still an achievement. Then the next round, typical Caerwys being the lowest side, got the best team in it, which was Kevin Druids. We went to Kevin Druids. Hugh Griffith said, "I'm going to play my full strength first team against you." I thought, "Oh, thanks." He said, "I'm going to respect you as if I was playing Aberystwyth on a Saturday." So I thought that's really, I've got a lot of respect for him, and that really did throw me, to be fair, because I thought he's paying his players to be here to play Caerwys when a lot of managers would probably maybe not disrespect them, but feel the reserve side out and go out the competition. But he valued the competition. Obviously, they're getting paid to play, and we're paying to play all of our lads. And they had a full strength side, and we only lost 2-0 against a full strength side, and we're tier 5, they're tier 1, very high, or doing very well in tier 1. So that was probably the best achievement, because I come off the pitch. I don't like losing. No one likes losing, but I thought I didn't class that as a loss. I classed that as an achievement. Going there, making it hard. Hugh Griffith even said to us, "This bloody hell, you're hard to break down here." We went in at half time. 44th minute they scored the first one, so we went into half time 1-0 down. The last 10 minutes we threw 2 strikers on and we went for it. We had 2 or 3 shots on target the last 10 minutes, but they went on and scored. So it was a bit of a, I classed that as a really big achievement. But other than that, it was being made sole manager by myself. That was quite a big achievement as well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's great that the cup allows you to do that, to showcase that you and your team have got the ambition to go to places like that and cause an upset.
Yeah, it was an upset. Yeah, they won, but they had to work really, really hard for it. I think they just thought, "Oh, we're playing a tier 5 side, we're going to win 10-0." But they had to work really hard with it. They were getting frustrated, and that was our plan, to make them frustrated. And they were getting it, and so was Hugh Griff as well.
So how do you say to your lads before that game, like, we can get something out of this?
Well, I think we set up really, really negative. We set up 5-4-1, but our one up top was sitting on their deep liar, so it was basically a 5 and a 5. It was very negative, but one of the lads said, "Yeah, but this isn't the Caerwys way," and we said to him, "Well, yeah, it's not the Caerwys way, and it's not how we want to play, but to be able to even have a chance, or to not humiliate ourselves against this good side, we've got to do this. We've got to work hard. We've got to stick at it. We've got to dig in." And they did have to dig in, and I think that would have been the hardest push they've had all season this year. But if for us to get anything out of it, for us to even keep the score below maybe 10, we had to be negative, and we had to just play on the break when we could. We had lots of the majority of the game. We had none of the ball, so it's hard to concentrate. But they did it, and when we got the ball, we made use of it.
You said there about not allowing them to score 10. Do you believe that people actually thought they were going to go there and just demolish you.
Well, yeah, because they played. I think they played. Not. I don't know who they played, but they played someone in the league above us the year before, and I think they lost the league above us. They lost about 11-0, something like that, or 10-0.
Wow.
I don't know whether it was the league above us. It might have been the league above. So we're going there thinking, okay, yeah, it's Tuesday now. We've rushed all the way here. Let's go out and enjoy it. I know it's going to be a very negative game plan set by us, but just do what you say, do what you're told, and you'll get something out of it. And to be fair, even though we lost 2-0, the lads were like, wow, we've got a good side on our hands. We're going to do well this year.
Awesome. Yeah. It'd been awesome if you'd knocked them out the cup.
Yeah, because they were champions the year before. So if we would have knocked them out, I probably would have retired on that.
That's me done. 18,
Yeah.
best moment of my life. See you later. Yeah. See, that it's got me thinking that if I don't know if you're going to actually answer this question, but had you be given the opportunity now to manage any team locally, so like Welsh Premier League and stuff like that, based on the players that they've got and the style that you play, who do you think that you could go in and do a good job with?
Oh, I don't want to disrespect anybody, but I don't know. Maybe with what they've got and how they play, maybe I'd probably look at Holywell Town.
Yeah.
But I'd never want to do that for as long as Johnny Hasselden's there. He's doing a good job there, so he could stay there. I'd never want to do that. But maybe Welsh Premier League, I'd probably say Kevin Druitt's something there makes me something there draws me there, and I don't know what it is, and it always has done. So maybe there, but I'm happy at Caerwys, and the lads there are happy, and the plan is to go as high as we can.
Awesome. And you like how many tiers are you from like Cymru Alliance, Welsh Prem?
Cymru Alliance, if we win the league this year, we'll be 2 below.
Wow.
Okay, I know it's quite far down, but gotta learn your trade somewhere. So okay, I'm in the lowest tier, but we've got a good enough side, in my opinion, to compete in tier 3. And if I had a couple more additions that were experienced in the Cymru Alliance, maybe even there.
Wow, but you say that 2 or 3 good seasons, and you're in a really healthy position.
Yeah, because we got like I said before, we got a young squad. The players that are older. One of them said to me, I said, "How are you feeling?" Because we're probably going to have to play, if the league carries on, maybe Monday, Thursday, Saturday, something like that. And he goes, "Well, since I've come to Caerwys, I've had a new lease of legs. I've never felt this good before." So
wow.
even the older ones are happy and loving it.
So would you say that's down to your training, or?
I think the environment that I've created there is there's no cliques within the side. I don't pick anything through friendship. Everything's based on performance and training and attendance. The lads, like I said, don't have any cliques. So if a new lad's walking in, and one lad actually said this to me when I picked him up for training the other week, saying, "I've never been in a team where all 22 players speak to each other, and it's not like, oh, you're not in our clique, we're together." Everybody mingles with each other. There's no one in cliques. Everyone's mingling with each other, so it's quite a good environment, and everyone knows that if you don't work hard, there's someone right behind you to take your place, which is always a good way.
Yeah, you mentioned there about cliques. Oh wait a minute, I've got to be careful here what I say. There's a lot of teams that I know of that cliques are like a massive downfall to their side, and stops them from gaining better players, to be fair.
Yeah, well, like if I could I could get players in that I'm quite pally with, and maybe they would do just as good as job, but I'm happy with what I've got, and every single lad in the squad has got a place for a reason. Even if they don't get on the pitch, they know their place, what their place is, and they understand, and they just stick by it until they get a chance. And because I'll always give anybody a chance if I can, I will give them a chance because I've been given a chance and I'm doing well at it. So for player wise, I know they're a lot older, but if I can give anybody a chance, whether it's their first team debut, then I will do that if I can.
Awesome. And the following at Caerwys, is it a good following or?
I'll be honest with you, we probably only get maybe 20, 30 max, and then on away games we'll get probably maybe 5 or 6. But it's a big town. It's got a big caravan park, so hopefully in the future the plan is to get more down there. We don't charge to get in. There's teas and coffees there, which are like 50p, something like that. So it's not about the money for us. It's just about getting people down watching their local side. Because we've got probably 6 or 7. We've got 6 or 7 lads that are from actually Caerwys, or they've lived in Caerwys. So we've got quite a local side, to be fair.
Yeah, see, with my local team, Caerwys Bay, they were actually in the Welsh Premier League at one stage a long time ago. And during those times, we were getting hundreds, thousands, 1,000 through the gate. And then obviously we've just plummeted through the leagues, gone from the highest get to the bottom. And there were some games where we were going to the matches and there was literally just me and my dad. So it's back on the rise now. We've been there a Friday night when it's been chucking it down with rain, and there's still like 60 through the gate, and that's
well, I think the best saying in football is, well, for as long as you're doing well as the manager, you're liked. When you're doing bad, you're hated. And I think it's the same for supporters. When you're doing well, you get people through the gate and you'll get people watching. When you're not doing so well, it'll drop. Or if you're not in a good league, it'll drop. Caerwys were in the the equivalent to the Cymru Alliance years and years and years ago, when there was people coming through the gates quite a lot, but they've dropped down all the way down to tier 5. So it's just about building that up again to get as close to that as we possibly can, to get people through the gate, not even to charge them, just to get them watching and seeing what the local team's like.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like a big crowd going to watch the game. It's an amazing atmosphere, supporting your local team and seeing them do well.
Yeah, because I'm a Holywell lad, and I always will, and always, if I can, and they're playing and we're not, I will always go and watch Holywell because I'm good friends with the manager, Johnny, and he's helped me out a hell of a lot through some tough times, and going down to, I don't know, I went down to Newtown to watch them. I've been down to Flint, where there's like 900 people because it's a derby. Carnarvon away when we were pushing for the league, and that, like you said, that feeling, it's better. I've got a season ticket at Everton, but commitments now don't allow me to go. But that feeling going to watch Holywell is a lot better than going to watch Everton, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Like, this season could potentially, like, Caerwys are in, I think, 3-4 finals. Liverpool challenging for the league. Caerwys are currently top of the league, so we could be finishing this year where both Liverpool and Caerwys Bay win the league, which would be amazing. But to be able to watch my local side win the league, that'd be amazing, because the last time that they were successful, I wasn't massively into my local sports, and through like this page, that's helped me like support local football teams, a lot more local sports in general. So to be able to witness my local side lifting the trophy would be amazing. But Liverpool winning the league would be immense. So I don't know which one to take.
I'd take Caerwys Bay winning the league than Liverpool.
Yeah, it's because you're an Evertonian. You don't actually care about Caerwys. You just don't want to win the league. Oh, well, we're coming close to the to wrapping up here. There's just a couple more questions I want to ask you, and this is more about your future in football. What are your plans? What are your ambitions?
I only look game to game really, but I want to be a teacher, so I'll get that under my belt. And if something full time in football comes along, it comes along. But my probably my biggest aim would be to manage in the Cumbria Alliance in the next 6 years. So I'd be 24. That's the plan. Well, that's not the plan. That's what I aim to do. I aim to stay at Caerwys for as long as I can and achieve as much as I can there. And I don't intend on moving on unless they want me to. So, but that's the aim, is to manage in the Cumbria Alliance in the next 6 years or so.
It's so crazy that you're like, yeah, in the next 6 years, when I'm 24, I'm like, oh man, Jesus. In 6 years' time, I'm going to be 30. Oh man, I definitely believe that that's definitely achievable for yourself. You seem like a young lad that definitely knows the game, and I would love to see you like achieve your dreams. To be fair. You still there, mate?
Oh, yeah. Hello, I can hear you now.
Right.
Yeah, can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
bit of a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I think that you'd definitely be able to achieve your dreams if you just keep to what you're doing. You seem to be doing the right thing.
Yeah, I hope so. And so that's the plan. Whether it works out, it's a different thing, but that's the plan.
Well, I think if you just keep doing what you do, when well, hopefully you get another good team in the cup, and you like with Scorio now, they're going to more and more of these cup matches. Hopefully, we'll get to see you on Scorio doing a giant killing.
Oh, I hope so.
Then it goes from there, doesn't it? People say, "Oh, who's the manager that did that?" It'll just snowball effect, and hopefully someone picks you up and it gives you a shot, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Is right place, right time, and who's willing to take a shot on you.
Yeah, and that's all it is. Yeah.
So if it's been a pleasure talking to you. I don't know if you've got anything else you want to add.
No, not really. Other than let's hope we win the league.
do you mean Liverpool or?
No, I don't mean Liverpool.
Well, the last thing I did want to ask you is, does your club do pin badges?
Yes.
Because with every interview I do, I buy the pin badge of the team.
Yeah, we do.
So I'm gonna have to order a pin badge from yourself.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll send you one for nothing.
Oh, top bloke. You can't just be saying this now on the podcast. Then when I stop recording, you say, "Hey, that'll actually be £5."
No.
Well, mate, it's been brilliant speaking to you. I'm gonna stop the recording now, and then we'll just carry on chatting afterwards. But thank you very much for being on the podcast. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Top man.